just the bans that you like then?
No, not at all. Not at all. If it were up to me, I would say no bans, period, on any firearms. If
then we're back in.
You should be able to own a machine gun.
Austin, so we're back in business. Who has done all the bans?
I've already stated that. I mean, why are we going back?
Thank you, Maritza. Okay, so they said they wanted common sense gun reform, and you know what I'm saying? Donald Trump literally said that he wants to take away, you know what I'm saying, due process. He said it out loud that he wants to remove due process.
Due process of what?
He said, I want to take the guns first and then go to court. Trump said that out of his own mouth. You want me to play the audio?
From which individuals, though? Are you talking about red flag laws?
Yeah, he said he wanted to take the guns first and then do due process.
So let me ask you a question. If your neighbor has been convicted of, let's say, vehicular manslaughter or DWI on several occasions, and in which one of those cases...
So that the Democratic Party is asking for common sense gun reform, bro. It sounds like y'all are aligned.
I don't agree with any kind of gun control, not a single bit.
So you don't believe in red flag laws?
No.
How are you literally on both sides of this?
So here's where I'm at, right? To me, both parties are fucking retarded. 100% of the time.
Hey, bro, you can't say that, man. They're going to kick you.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Both parties have their faults, right? Now, if we were going to pick the lesser of two evils, which one are you going to go with? Are you going to go with a person who tried however many thousands of cases and only put 44 people in jail? How many of those people were convicted?
Yes, because why would we put people in jail for simple possession? The first time they'd ever done anything wrong. Why would we just go spend taxpayer dollars to lock them up?
Are you saying that every single one of the
Instead, she put them in job programs. Instead, she put them in job programs and helped them get their GED or get their associate's degree, help them fix their credit, help them get into stable housing. Like, that's what we should be doing.
Yes,
that's what he...
And if that's the way you feel, Trump has 34 felonies. So he should be in jail then, yes?
Before you ask that question, yes, that's what we're saying. They were nonviolent drug offenses.
Every single one of the cases was nonviolent.
Yes.
I don't believe you. No. Let's fast forward to the point.
I'm not going to say I don't believe you. I'm going to say that, obviously I'm going to do my own research on that and figure out if that's what it is. Sure. If that's what it is, then it is what it is. But then let's talk about hiding evidence.
Hold on. While you have these talking points floating in your head, does it occur to you that maybe you should do the research before the talking point?
So let's talk about the person that was convicted of murder and was sitting on death row, and Kamala Harris hid the...
Yeah, she had nothing to do with that. She had nothing to do with that.
She had nothing. So then why is it broadcasted everywhere?
Because people lie. And you believe the lies. Here, I'm going to show you right now.
I just want to know, and I know you caught it, Jones, the pivots here are like top tier. This is NBA level. They are pretty solid, bro. He sounds like a real gamer. Can you see this okay? Do I need to zoom in? Can you see this okay?
I can see it.
Okay. Kamala Harris was district attorney in San Francisco when Jamal Truelove was arrested and tried for murder. She did not prosecute his case, but one of her deputies did. Prosecutors placed a key witness in witness protection according to court findings and paid for a room and board. Truelove, who was found guilty, appealed his conviction, and the appellate court ruled that he deserved a new trial on grounds of prosecutorial misconduct and ineffective lawyer. Truelove was acquitted in the second trial, and he filed a civil suit against the city of San Francisco and city police, because they're the ones who actually hid the evidence, alleging officers framed him for murder. Harris was not named in the suit. She did not prosecute the case. She was not named in the suit.
However, she was the leading prosecutor, right?
No, she was not. It was just in her office.
Listen, I'm not saying that she was the leading prosecutor of the case. I'm saying that she was the leading prosecutor in that particular county. And it
happened in her office. It has nothing to do with it. There's tons of other prosecutors in an office, especially in counties as big as the ones in California.
And they were all working directly under her, correct?
Okay, but she's not prosecuting the case. It was the police that withheld the evidence. The prosecutor did their job to win a case. It was the police that withheld the evidence.
Okay, so the prosecutor had that evidence, right?
No, they did not.
Even if
the police had it.
Okay, so
the police framed it.
Let's say you're right, and the prosecutor didn't have it.
He sued the county of San Francisco and the city police.
So again, what I'm trying to say is, if that were the case, let's say that's right, and he didn't name Kamala Harris, and let's say Kamala Harris didn't have any type.
He didn't even name the prosecutor. He named the county and the police.
So then, at what point would you say that if a prosecutor doesn't have all of the facts in the case, at what point would that become 100% against that man's constitutional rights and being held in confinement without due
That
process?
is why he was acquitted, and that is why he sued the city.
But after how long did he sit on death row? Was he acquitted?
But that's nobody's fault but the police. The police withheld evidence.
That the prosecutor had.
How the hell would the prosecutor know that the police are withholding evidence if the police didn't give him the evidence?
Because the prosecutor has all rights to be able to subpoena not only the individual officers that are involved in the arrest, but also every form of documentation that is submitted into evidence.
And if the police don't give it to them, then they don't know it exists.
But how can we all say?
This is you.
How can we
This
say
is
that it wasn't
crazy,
given?
bro. Like
This
he's
is you
gonna
right
try
now.
to fit, you know what I'm saying, the argument, you know what I'm saying, into his narrative.
This is you right now. You're on the balance beam and you're twisting yourself into a pretzel about something you know nothing. You didn't know anything about a few minutes ago. You're refusing to look it up, and you're just saying words at this point.
I'm just saying words. So
You
I'm
really
saying,
are.
I'm saying words. in
You're
direct
blaming the
correlation to
prosecutors
facts.
for doing their job based on the evidence they had.
Have any of you guys ever been committed or convicted of a felony?
Yes.
Okay, so have I. I've been convicted 14 times. I was released from prison in 2016, and I started my entire life over, right? There's 100% of direct correlation between the prosecution and the individual officers that are conducting their investigation.
But if the individual officers did not give them the evidence and the prosecutor had no idea that this evidence existed for the 10th time now, then they only did their job based on the evidence they had.
So you're saying that they didn't subpoena for body cam footage. They didn't subpoena for complete evidence. How is that even possible? How does that make sense?
What was it? Hold on. You have one.
First of all, body cam didn't exist back then.
Yeah, you have one and only one chance to impress me with your answer to this question. What was the evidence that was missing in that trial? You have 10 seconds.
I have no idea.
Why the fuck are you talking about this?
Because you guys are playing this part.
Why the fuck? No, listen to my question. Not why are you talking to me. Not why are you grandstanding. Not why do you think that this is King es más macho. I'm asking you, why are you talking about this? You now are mentioning body cam footage that did not exist.
They had an eyewitness.
And you don't even know what the exculpatory evidence was.
So I'm using body cam footage as an example. I'm not
What was the
necessarily saying that
exculpatory
is the evidence that was based on the evidence.
listen, you're using body cam footage because you can say, why didn't they subpoena it? Because of course somebody would subpoena body cam footage. What if the exculpatory evidence was a paperclip?
So how does a paperclip play into any of this?
It's very possible if it has DNA on it. What I'm saying is, if you don't know what the evidence is, how are you making judgments on it? It seems like you just have a conclusion in your head and you're twisting yourself into pretzels to make all the facts align with that conclusion when you know nothing about this. And there's no shame in not knowing, but the responsible thing to do would be to go research it before you make yourself look silly on a platform in front of 2,100 people saying, Kamala Harris did something wrong. What'd she do? I don't know.
Yeah, somebody told him that she did something wrong. He didn't look this up on his own. Somebody told him that this happened, and he did no investigating of it whatsoever.
We do
So I can
agree
do the
that
same
the
thing with all of
justice
the facts that y'all
system.
try to bring up about Katie Johnson and saying, Trump raped Katie Johnson. If that was the case, then why was
Because
that
he
case
did.
not convicted? Why was he not convicted? of rape?
Because she kept getting threats and had to move her family multiple times.
And
Have you
he
never heard
did
of witness
get
protection?
convicted. He did get convicted.
Dude, you can't get
of
witness
the-
protection on a civil case.
Okay, first of all, he was not convicted. In fact, if
was
you were to look it up, you will
convicted.
see that the case was not convicted. He was
He
not
was
convicted of rape.
found liable of rape for Carroll.
Now you've pivoted to E. Jean Carroll while talking
I know,
about
the
Katie
pivots are
Johnson.
nuts, bro.
What is wrong with you?
Can we go to the next one? Number nine?
What is wrong with you guys? How can y'all sit here and
We
say
live in world one, right?
And then back
We live on
it
planet
up.
A. We live on planet A where facts matter, right? We live on planet A where facts matter. And you are floating out somewhere, you know what I'm saying, in Never Land, bro.
Yeah, so he was found liable for raping E. Jean Carroll. He is a known rapist. I don't know what.
Like bro says, I grab women by the vagina and kiss them in the mouth without their consent. That was one of the main reasons he got convicted. Because when he went to be interviewed, you know what I'm saying, for his deposition, he literally just doubled down on it. Here, do you want me to play it for you? Want me to play his deposition tape for you?
Everyone heard the grab her by the pussy. Everybody's heard.
No, I'm talking about his deposition tape. I'm not even talking about what he said on the bus.
No, I have not heard it.
Okay.
Or I may have heard it. I mean, I don't have a computer in front of me like you guys do.
Sorry.
It wouldn't help you, bro.
I mean, I guess I could go upstairs to the office and load it up and start Googling shit, but that's just not. That's not
what.
I'm actually very generous, Austin. So if you want me to look something up for you, I have 2 computers in front
Okay,
of me.
I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it real quick. I'm gonna just play the audio real quick.
I don't even know
Sorry.
It's what it is.
Yo, he really did.
Yeah, it happens. I moved on her like a bitch. I couldn't get there, and she was married. I don't even wait. And when
I
you're
don't
smart,
even
they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy.
I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. Just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Grab them by the. You can do anything. That's what you said, correct?
Well, historically, that's true with stars.
It's true with stars that they can grab women by.
Well, if you look over the last million years, I guess that's been
Last million years.
largely true. Not always, but largely true. Unfortunately or fortunately.
Bro said unfortunately or fortunately. And then they played this in front of the jury. For the last million years.
What you're saying is he was found liable for a statement saying that because
No, that's not the only reason. I just said that's pretty damning evidence to double down on something like that. Hey, huge W in the chat for Erica Elliott for the $100 Cash App. Thank you so much for your contribution. We do appreciate you. They put a note that thank you for your conviction and strength. I appreciate that. Yeah, he said unfortunately or fortunately. That's wild.
Let me ask you this. Do you agree with the way that Biden campaign left Afghanistan?
I'm not a Biden supporter. I never voted for him, so I don't. You're probably asking the wrong person.
Kamala is also
Kamala.
within Kamala. What does it matter, right? I mean, tomato, tomato, right?
All right, from this point forward, I'm just gonna call you David.
Yeah,
No, we don't. I don't do that.
we get to number
We're not
10.
gonna do. Yeah, sure, no problem.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, and literally, bro, go fuck yourself. Not you, obviously.
No, you're good, man.
Number 10 is labor power is suppressed. Unions are seen as a huge threat, and labor unions are severely suppressed or eliminated entirely. And if you look at his conversation with Elon Musk recently, they were literally, joking about being union busters, which is fucked up. About, you know what I'm saying, him trying to, Aries Diva, thank you so much. W Aries Diva in the chat for the $60 Cash App. Yeah, so, I mean, suppressing labor rights for citizens, I literally just can't stand behind. I mean, I can't stand behind something like that because, like I said, these people that go to work, some of them working 2 jobs and still living paycheck to paycheck, is what's keeping this country moving. So
So I definitely, I'm cool if people want to start a union. I don't know. Like, I don't know too much about how it would affect the owner, like what benefits, because I'm assuming there would have to be some benefits, and it's probably industry specific.
All worker, like most worker rights that you see to this day, are due to unions.
Correct.
Unions have historically created like very safe protections for the workers.
Yeah, like
So-
overtime pay, like how much a person can be required to work in a
Family
single day, like family leave. Yeah, I mean all of these things are.
Not being fired based on discrimination, like you name it. Unions are so crucial. They inform the workers on their rights.
Would you
Because
say?
a lot of
Go ahead.
Sorry?
I'm sorry. Well, I was curious. I don't know too much about like the union and like again the benefits or the pros and cons of like to the owner. The one thing I do know, like plumbers union, and I'm going to use that as an example. I know typically in unions, the average employee, even at the lowest level, like they get paid more per hour. So like for construction in that industry, right, that just means that company now like bids the job higher, right? Like their costs go up all around. So whoever's paying them, obviously that cost is increased as well. But
Jamar, thank you so much for the cash app.
the most recent one that I can recall where people tried to go union was like Starbucks, where
Amazon did too.
They tried to unionize, and I feel like when it comes to like the food, and maybe you guys, you guys sound very well educated on certain topics, and probably even on this one. But like take the restaurant industry, which I'm in. If I had 10 employees and they wanted to start a union, right now, what that requires me to probably have to pay them more money than I'm already paying them. But now I have to pass that cost on to customers. So now,
No, you don't.
so why
No, you
wouldn't
don't.
I?
Because that just means that you have a poor business model, bro.
So if your business is only making X amount of dollars,
Yeah.
right, and now your costs go up, but the cost of what you're selling doesn't increase, how does that make sense?
Yeah. So that just means you make less.
So I would say at a certain point, again, I feel like if we're talking about large corporations, I feel like let me ask you this. Maybe we're just not.
So you know what I'm saying? Turnover is costly, right?
Of course.
Workers that are happy, you know what I'm saying? At work, especially because they're getting paid well, are generally going to perform better. Especially in a service industry. Especially in a service industry. Like if I'm working in a service industry and I'm getting paid well, right, then I'm going to be more enthusiastic when I'm working with the people whom are being serviced. And if I'm being more enthusiastic with the people that I'm servicing, they're going to come back more often and they're going to spend more money.
Yeah, I also don't think that you should own a business if you can't pay your workers adequately. Sorry, I mean it's rough. I understand, but
That's what it says, a poor business model.
That's a capitalist system that you're advocating for, which is devastating for mom and pop shops. Like if you would be more for socialism or communism, then this wouldn't be even an issue. But right now, if you cannot pay your workers, you should not have a business.
Well, I only hire who I can afford to pay.
Okay, there you go. So you're ethical.
Yeah, like I don't try to hire like it mainly like in my restaurant. It's majority of the time it's me and my wife because again, this is where I feel like
I feel you. I feel you. I was raised in a restaurant. I know the service industry inside and out. I worked as a waitress for 11 years. I get it, okay, but...
That's right, Claudia. Poor pay, poor productivity, poor service, poor profit. It's literally a chain.
You know exactly as a restaurant owner...
Yeah, and if there's tariffs in America, bro, you might as well just shut the door. If there's tariffs in America, you might as well just shut the door in your restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's why it's like important to just like I probably pay more attention to it now as a business owner.
The tariffs literally were the direct cause of nearly 600 family legacy farms closing in America in 2019. The largest in in nearly a decade.
When y'all are talking, so like the last point where for the fascist thing, I think it was number 10. we're largely talking about larger corporations or larger businesses that
For the most part, yeah.
Okay, we're not
like, there's
talking
no
about
reason in the
small
world that Walmart shouldn't have a workers' union. There's no reason in the world that Amazon shouldn't have a workers' union. When they employ, you know what I'm saying, literally millions of people.
I definitely. Again, I think I just want to make sure that I'm understanding like y'all's point of view on this. We're not talking about the small family-owned businesses, compared to corporate. Okay, so I think we're on the same page on that one.
Yeah. The next one is number 11. Disrespect for the intellectuals and the arts. Open hostility to higher education. Professors and other academics are censored or even arrested, but that's later on in the process. Free expression in the arts and writing is openly attacked. So, I mean, quite literally, you go to that liberal college, you know what I'm saying? They're indoctrinating you in those liberal colleges.
Didn't he try to start a Twitter war with the cast of Hamilton?
Yes.
Yeah, that's like a weird one. I don't care. That one doesn't. Yeah,
But no, it is important. Why would you want people not to be educated?
Oh no, I'm not. So that's what I'm saying. I don't.
He wants to get rid of the Department of Education. Do you think that that's a good idea? When historically, this country for the last nearly 50 years has lagged behind other industrialized nations in terms of education.
Yeah, I think definitely the education system needs to be revamped for sure, 100%.
Don't you think that all schools, right? That all students in all schools should have the access to the same resources? So all of them should have updated books. All of them should have access to Wi-Fi and computers and tablets, not just the ones that live in good, zip codes. All children should have the same access to the same level of education.
Just give me 1 second. I'm so sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I just have to do a mod thing really quick. So we're currently in the middle of a subway. Please consider supporting the channel. This is how we can keep doing what we're doing. This is how Jones can get on the FYP more regularly. And you also will have the benefits of joining the Discord and have access to the sub-only chat and emotes. You can also still send the paid links are in his bio if you want to support this cause, because Jones does a lot for the community.
It won't let me send it to him on Venmo. I don't know why, Kiara. Can I just send it to you and you send it?
Yeah, go ahead.
But I'm at the. Can I Cash App it to you?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. All right. Cool. I'll do it right now. I meant to tell you that earlier. I'm glad you reminded me because I literally blanked out.
Don't worry. ADHD. But yeah, and also share and like the live. We're a little bit low on likes, so if we can get up to 500K, that would be amazing. And sorry,
just like that. So yeah, I agree with you in terms of K through 12, all schools should be. And this is where I go back to just quick point on that. This is where I go back to. When we were talking earlier about funding that goes outside of the country, because I think we can all agree that our government at all levels, they misappropriate funds. There's so much stuff.
But I think more the misappropriation of funds is, internal stuff. I don't even think it's, them sending it to other countries and stuff like that. I mean, just look at how much Donald Trump spent on his days off that he took, his vacation days from his presidency.
Yeah, of course. So
his golfing trips cost $141 million. Oh no, excuse me. That was just from a year. So it cost taxpayers over $340 million. And that was in 2019. So this was before 2020 even hit.
Yeah, that stuff's also all that stuff is wild. Because again, if we go back, and maybe you guys can again correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel at some point when this country was founded and through the years, I feel it was supposed to be public service to serve the American people. It wasn't meant to.
They're supposed to work for us, not the other way around.
And it definitely does not happen. And so that's why. for some things, like I would advocate for less government because they're not doing. You asked me earlier if I'm one of the accelerationists. I think that's what you said. I don't think like I wouldn't categorize myself as that, but I definitely think like things need to change, and I think the question is like what needs to happen to enact that change, because clearly just simply voting isn't, regardless of which side you vote for.
I can't get behind the two sides argument, bro. Number 12 is obsession with crime and punishment. Local police are given almost limitless power to enforce laws. Donald Trump said that he wanted to give immunity to police officers. That's dangerous as fuck.
Yeah, no, I never thought that. No, I don't think they should.
People are often willing to overlook police abuse in the name of patriotism, often a national police force with virtually unlimited power. And I want you to know that these things aren't something that was written, you know what I'm saying, recently. These
I know.
Yeah. These are, I mean, many years old. Number 13, rampant cronyism and corruption. Friends and associates appoint each other to government positions. He said he wanted to get rid of government employees and replace them with loyalists. He said he wanted to get rid of government employees and replace them with loyalists.
Yeah, I got
So
you.
that's number 13.
I want to be clear. I'm not voting for Trump. I want to put that out there. Not voting.
But no, you asked me about the Republican Party, and like this is what they're all backing right now. This is only the party of Trump now. It is MAGA.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, and I think we also were talking about like conservatives. So I think the Republican Party is very widely split in terms of like people that have conservative values and more traditional in terms of like family.
Thank you, Kathy, so much. Kathy in the chat for the $50 cash app. I appreciate you.
But then there's also like the MAGA, like the hardcore, like no matter what Trump does, he can do no wrong. Let me ask you this before we go to the next one. Do you think if Democrats, or like if they, I guess, like a true Democrat, right? Somebody who's truly like do you think if every politician in every state and federal government was a Democrat, that it would?
Kathy, you're amazing. Thank you so much. If everybody was a Democrat, I mean, I don't think so. Democrats are still capitalists. I'm not a Democrat, bro. I don't even support the Democratic Party.
Yeah, I know you're not. I was just because I feel like that's like the.
Yeah, you can have traditional values in terms of like your family and stuff like that. You're absolutely right, and still be still be a Democrat.
So what do you think like the major because to me when I look everything and what's in your face, it always seems like it's just about keeping us divided.
But that's what I'm saying. Like people act like the government, right, is some autonomous being hiding behind a curtain like the Wizard of Oz that none of us know about. We elect these people. And so it is up to us, right, to hold them accountable and not continue to elect the same people doing the same dirt shit to us. But aside from that, even, why are we allowing corporations to fund, you know what I'm saying, to put millions of dollars into politicians' pockets to have them vote against the things that we're asking for ourselves? We're telling the government, because over 60% of Americans, I think it's like 70-some-odd% of Americans are pro-choice, but they overturned Roe v. Wade anyway. The vast majority of American citizens want a centralized health care, but the politicians aren't listening.
Yeah,
so the vast majority of American citizens are asking, it's 73%, thank you, Shawnee, are asking for one thing, and the vast majority of American citizens asking for common sense gun reform.
So the
politicians aren't listening because they got NRA putting money in their pocket.
Would you say that? I'm assuming again. I know you don't like the both sides argument, but so then the solution is what you're saying, which I agree with you. I mean, the majority of people in America agree. But what's how do you how do we move forward to change that?
Term limits, number one, all the way up to the Supreme Court, That's number one. Number two, we should make sure that that they're not being funded by corporate interest. So we should take all of that corporate financing of politicians out of our politics. And that should be it. If people that could right there solve the problem, and there shouldn't be this two-party, system.
So what should it be if not the two-party system? Like, what would be the alternative
To a two-party system? Ranked choice voting?
So just straight majority.
Yeah. No, ranked choice voting. So you don't know how ranked choice voting works?
No, not familiar.
Okay, that's fine. So like, say there's 5 candidates running for a position, right? And so what you would do is like vote for whoever, like people would just vote for whoever, they would rank them, right? They would rank them by, who they feel is the best, who they feel is the second best, who they feel is the third best. And then, whoever gets the, the highest number of, top votes, that person would be the selection.
Gotcha. So don't we kind of already do that, like when they have like the primaries and you vote?
The primaries aren't, are just getting a snapshot of what the American people want. But delegates are the ones who actually select who the party representative is going to be. So the person who wins the primary is not always the person who gets the delegate votes.
And so what you're saying is that it should be like the person who wins the primary should always be.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Because like Trump won the primary multiple times. He should have never been their candidate.
Yeah, I think that we should have like a process of checks and balances where we make sure that certain people are not even allowed to run for office, especially if they display fascist and dictator tenets. Like that's a big one for me. I don't think it's the same as if we could have go back in time and prevented Hitler to ever come into power, would we do it? Like, obviously we would, right? And he has displayed similar tendencies than Trump does. So everybody who is in that same category, we should not allow to run for office.
Yeah, definitely agree with the term limits, and I think that's going to be something. I think that's going to be extremely hard because of how many career politicians are still in government, and then I think once they get there, like they become like now that they have even if they initially go into it, and they're brand new and they're a new member of the House or whatever. I think there's very few, but I think once they get the power, like they're there, and then they want to hold control. I think that's going to be something but I agree that we should definitely have term limits, and that should have been something from the very, very beginning, not just on the president. Should have been on members of House, the entire government at the state and federal level. So what's the next one?
Claims of fraudulent elections.
Oh my God. What? There's no way.
I feel, again, I think it's Trump definitely took that overboard. But
can somebody remind me what happened? Oh God, when was that? I think it was January 6th or something. What happened?
Agree that was an insurrection. I don't think I would call that an insurrection. That was the worst insurrection in the history of insurrections. I think it was definitely something, but I wouldn't call it an insurrection.
You wouldn't call that an insurrection?
I don't. Yeah, no.
I'm sorry. Are you aware what an insurrection is?
They didn't. What weapons did they go in? Did they hold anything? Like they didn't.
Yeah, they actually did have weapons. They were able to recover weapons, firearms, and clips that did not belong to any of the Secret Service or Capitol Police.
Well, this is America. People do
But they are illegal in DC, though. Trump even said, "Hey, tell them to don't worry about the metal detectors. They're not here. They're not here to hurt me."
Yeah. Okay. I'll give y'all that. I don't think it was a true insurrection.
But it was.
That's fine. Okay. I know you hate the argument, but you said
Or you're just
deny-
giving me nah right now. So what do you think an insurrection is?
like a where you forcefully try to overthrow.
What were they doing?
Again, if that's an insurrection, that was the worst.
So what do you think would have happened if they actually were able to get into the chambers? They went there to undermine the election, which is and they did it with force.
They
Like
tried to
literally
hang-
a forceful attempt to overthrow the government.
They
Where
wanted
was
to
the
hang Pence.
They did not let them in. Like, guys, I have pictures from the day. Here, I'll just show them to you.
Where was the
They-
National
they
Guard?
wanted
Where was
to-
like I don't so like I'm
Trump. It was Trump's. It was Trump's. Under Trump's purview to call in the National Guard. This is not letting people in. This is not letting people
Yeah. And they also wanted to unalive the VP.
Mike Pence.
So they wanted to unalive Mike Pence. Is that not violent, trying to unalive somebody?
I'm
And
not
force
saying that there
somebody
wasn't
to
violence there.
overturn the election?
again worst display of I agree with you. Trump.
How many
Trump
people
and
died?
This is not letting them in. They're literally fight. The police are fighting to try to keep the barriers up.
Have you seen any video footage at all?
Yeah.
Like,
You need to go watch. You need to go watch. What's that shit called? I forgot
exactly.
already.
There were gallows, like, too. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, I have that picture too.
Yeah, but let's not put that up.
I'm not going to.
Again, I just think it was the worst attempt at an insurrection.
Still an attempt. Still an insurrection. Whether it was pulled off well or not.
But
Yeah.
your point of election denying, you hate the argument. I get it. It happens on both sides.
What? No, it
It
doesn't.
does not.
Day of Rage. That's what it's called. No, it doesn't.
Hillary Clinton didn't.
Hillary Clinton conceded the same day. What are you talking about? He
But she
still
did.
hasn't conceded.
Who was in Washington trying to unalive like Donald Trump when the
They
election
just tried.
came?
What do you mean they just tried to unalive?
That was
him?
a Republican.
That was
Okay.
I'm asking from you were talking about Hillary Clinton, so I'm talking about
He said he's
2016.
not a Trump supporter, and then here he is defending him again.
Okay, who was
okay,
it?
so
Oh, sorry,
sorry.
go ahead, Yara.
I'm
No,
not
no,
a Trump. I'm not a Trump supporter. Like I
Okay,
don't.
who sued for a recount in 2016 when Hillary lost?
Who sued for a recount?
Yeah,
Well, I don't know. No one. I don't know.
it was not Hillary.
I don't know. What I'm saying is you said
It was hold on, it was Jill Stein and a bunch of people said that Hillary should have, but she said no. It's time to concede and move on.
I know, but did she not go on national TV and
Yeah, because they literally did that FBI report, you know what I'm saying, about her emails a couple of days before, you know what I'm saying, a few days before the election, which was election, which could be classified as election interference for sure.
There's a big difference between being critical of a person's actions during an election and saying that said election was stolen.
she literally said that, and she was like, I don't view him as the legitimate president.
and she
Okay,
conceded
I need to
hours after.
yeah, I need to see that.
Yeah.
So I'd have to leave TikTok, but I can definitely find it.
No, you
Okay,
can
here,
just,
I want to put something on the page really quickly. Just, it's not based on anything you said. I just think that it's important to note. Because somebody said that any gun laws are unconstitutional, and I'm tired of having the same argument that the Constitution wasn't written for individual people to own firearms. It just wasn't. This is the Second Amendment broken down. So here you go, right here. And it gives you the documentation from the people who actually wrote the Second Amendment as well. Sorry. A well-regulated militia refers to a government-organized force of citizen soldiers for a defense of the state, subject to a plan of organization, arms, and discipline. So it needed a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. Refers to the security against invasion, insurrection, and civil unrest for the protection of the public liberty. The reason that they wrote the Second Amendment is because they were worried about enslaved people uprising against the plantation owners or indigenous people trying to raid a plantation or reclaim the land, right? And so that's what they were afraid, that the National Army wouldn't be able to get to the state in time. No, this is not Google. This is called academia. Google is a search engine. It is not a source. Jesus Christ. The people, under our complex federal system, the people has three meanings in the Constitution. We, the people of the United States, the people of each state, or individuals. Which meaning is in use is determined by context. In the case of the people's right to keep and bear arms, it means that the people as a collective represented by state legislature. That is the states. So when they were talking about the people, they're talking about each individual state. Jefferson, Mason, and I just forget the other dude's name. Mason, Jefferson. Madison. Sorry. I don't know why it just escaped me for a second. Keep and bear arms refers to maintaining and arming the militia, kept in military readiness for public defense, like a National Guard, shall not be infringed. This term is a term of art for protecting sovereign or public rights, in contrast to a bridge. The term of art is used in the First Amendment to protect individual or private rights. So a bridge is used for individual or private rights. Infringed means the rights of the people collectively. And we have already determined that the people means the state. Thank you. And that was the understanding. And so the states had the right to determine what state laws allowed people to have weapons or not have weapons.
Do you think it should still be the states that determine that?
Who can have weapons and not have weapons?
Yeah, or the federal government.
No, I mean, sure, I guess. I mean, I'm not against people having firearms. I think that we should have common sense gun reforms. I think the same way that we have to take a driving course, right? A driver's ed course. And then we have to, take a test. And then we have to, get insurance on our vehicle, right? I think that in the same manner that we do that, there should be, arms training. And then, you should have to register that firearm, right? And you should have to take a test in order to get a license for it. And then you should have to insure it.
Arcade, I want to read you 6 sentences. They're biblical in nature, and I want to know what you think of these 6 assertions I'm making. These 6 are the only reason I'm up here. It started at 3, but then y'all kept talking and I added. So the first one is Jesus is LGBTQIA friendly.
Yeah, Miss Devo, you're right, but you still have to take a driving test.
I don't see why I don't think he has any hate for anybody.
The Bible contains LGBTQIA characters, and they are revered.
Sure.
I'm not a biblical scholar. I wouldn't be able to give you an answer on that.
Okay.
Are
you a member of one of the 12 tribes of Israel? Or are you a Gentile?
I believe I'm a Gentile.
Jesus did not like you.
Cool.
I mean, that's biblical. I mean, he didn't like you.
Jones, did you see my message?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I apologize.
He never answers me. Typical man.
Sorry.
That's a Jones special.
No, not at all. Why would I mind? Which one do you want me to put up?
I can put it up real quick.
I was going to put it in this little yellow box right here.
Did you have a few more, Jeff?
So,
I'm far ahead of you.
Just 3 more. So yeah, Jesus did not like Gentiles. I mean, you can read Matthew 15:21, etc., to see how he called a Gentile woman a dog. Like, he did not like Gentiles. He came for the lost sheep of Israel. Ergo, he did not like you. Paul grafted in the Gentiles, but that's number 4. Paul is only using you Gentiles to make Israel jealous. so that they come back to God. AKA.
Hey guys, send Kiara some love. Send Kiara some love from all the labor that she put in this evening. She put in major work. Send Kiara some love.
Especially for triggering Sean so much and
being called
so
the B
awesome.
word multiple times.
Yes.
And being called the B word multiple times tonight.
Yeah, exactly. We need to fund that inner bitch. Like we really need to.
Yeah. Paul is using you Gentiles to make Israel jealous so that they come back to God. Like you're a side chick to God.
Okay.
And God also agrees. He says it. We are animals, and God agrees.
Okay.
And then lastly, the apostles, the early church, were militant communists.
Say that one more time.
The apostles, meaning the early church,
Yep.
were militant communists.
Okay.
Do you disagree with any of those?
I don't know. I don't know enough of what. Yeah, it's not enough about the topic.
Okay, great. I'm glad because I'm about to turn back into a pumpkin. If you want to know about Jesus being LGBTQIA friendly, I'm thinking of like putting a whole argument for it in my Discord. The Bible containing LGBTQIA characters, one of them would be King David.
Sure was.
1 Samuel
Thank
18.
you, Megan, for the now.
2 Samuel 1. Jesus not liking the Gentiles. I already gave you that passage. Romans 11:11 tells you where you guys are the side chick.
Jeff, I'm assuming you've studied the
Thank
Bible,
you,
like
Hannah.
the whole Bible in whole.
Both of us have ad nauseum.
Gotcha. And y'all's reason for studying the Bible is to disprove it, yeah?
No, both of us were Christians. We grew up Christian.
Look, I'm going to tell you what I told Kiara today. This is a secret. I'm just going to let it out. I actually despise debating the Bible. The reason is because Christians, most of the ones I encounter, have never read it. And so I feel like it's unfair. But also, I don't need the Bible to disprove the Bible. Like me opening it is a generosity as an atheist. But I think it's a great piece of literature, so study is a good idea. But if you believe that it's a magic book that gives you the answers to the universe, then you should have been reading it from the day that you were able to make a decision to be a Christian.
Yeah, so let me backtrack. So I have, but like there's no way for me to, I don't like debating it because it's just not a win-win for anyone.
Oh, it is. The words, see, here's the thing. The words either mean what the words mean or they don't mean what they mean. And when I'm up here talking about the Bible, there's another reason I don't like doing it. Yeah, even though, like, whatever. I'm meeting you where you are. Like, I have friends on this app and in real life who are devout Christians that I love dearly. And I think it's important that if you actually believe that this is saving your soul, you should probably know what that means specifically.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. So like, it's on TikTok. I'm not gonna. I would never like debate that on TikTok or any app really, because I just don't think it's beneficial. It doesn't.
Well, then you can't say I don't believe in such thing because my religion when you don't even know your religion.
So I do, but I'm just playing.
But you don't, Arcade. But you don't.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Lori.
You don't.
Well, I do, but I'm just choosing not to engage. Like
Arcade, you don't, because if you did, then you wouldn't have these ideas. Like you wouldn't have these opinions.
Further, Archaic. I'm gonna demonstrate that you don't. What does first?
I'm not gonna engage. I'm not like I'm just not.
All right, cool, no problem. That's fine. All right, have a good night, Archaic. Hey, listen, I seen there's a lot of people in the requests that are pro Trump. It's too late for me to bring on another person. As much as I would love to, I got to go to bed. I got to get up early in the morning. All right, you two.